The kind of last kind of challenge that we heard from companies has to do with potential equity issues. There are concerns going forward that these differences that we may see in work arrangements or the extent to which employees are or not required to return to the office may create equity issues, either real or perceived. This is probably most salient among frontline or essential workers who have to be in person to carry out their work and thus don't necessarily have the option of location flexibility. Many of these workers have been, on site, front and center throughout the pandemic, and are kind of wondering, what about them? What happens now as they see some of their colleagues getting this kind of enhanced flexibility? In these cases, some companies are exploring whether there's alternative forms of flexibility, such as around scheduling, that can be offered, as well as taking steps to try to really recognize the contributions and sacrifices that these employees have made throughout the pandemic. The reality, however, is that some of these roles, flexibility is just naturally limited given the way the job is designed and implemented. And so, it really came down in our working group, a discussion around, helping employees to understand and evaluate whether this particular job meets their current needs and preferences. And that really relates to the second solution, which is around increasing transparency and communication about return to the office plans and policies, as well as really being clear about the reasons behind them. This allows employees to have a clear idea on what the expectations will be going forward, as well as to really understand the rationale that exists behind these policies, which again aids them in evaluating how the job and ultimately the organization in many cases meets their own needs and circumstances.